Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone's doing great. So, yeah, I just want to talk about the 2024 United States Grand Prix. So, you have the sprint race and you have the main race as well. So, on the sprint race on the Saturday, pole position was taken by Max Verstappen with George Russell in second, and you had Charles Leclerc in third and Lando Norris in fourth. But what I remember happening in the sprint race was it was Verstappen. He kept the lead, and it was only 12 laps, and he won the sprint race. And then it was what's his name? It was a battle between the two Ferrari teammates, which was Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. And I remember Carlos Sainz passing Charles Leclerc, and him passing Charles Leclerc, and he took a position from Charles Leclerc. So yeah, moving on, you had so the top three in the sprint race was so yeah. From what I know is that was the first time in a few races Red Bull had some pace in the car, and in the sprint race Max just he just drove off, and he was keeping the gap. It was about 1 second, 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds, and then he ended up winning by about 3 seconds, and he took the 12 points. And then you had Carlos Sainz in second, and you had Lando Norris in third. And this is the result for the sprint race. Then you had Charles Leclerc in fourth, and then you had George Russell in fifth, Lewis Hamilton in sixth, Kevin Magnussen in seventh, and Nico Hulkenberg in eighth. So yeah, from what I can remember, for a long time, this is the first time the Red Bull has had some pace, to just drive away a little bit and control a race from the front. For about 10 races now, McLaren had the pace, and so moving on to qualifying after the sprint race, Max gained 3 points on Lando. Yeah, he gained. I think he gained 3 points on Lando with the fastest lap in the sprint race. And then moving on to qualifying, Lando Norris managed to put it on pole position in qualifying for the United States Grand Prix for the main race. And he was actually quite lucky in the qualifying because his championship rival Max was on a good lap. But what happened is there was a yellow flag right at the end of qualifying, and then Lando was able to keep his time that he done, and then that was good enough for pole position. So moving on to the race, it was quite an exciting race. From what I remember, it was Lando in first, Verstappen in second, then you had the two Ferraris behind them. So what happened in the race was Lando had an okay start, but Max put pressure on him and pushed him off at the first corner, and that allowed Charles Leclerc to position his car and take the lead. So him taking the lead, Verstappen slotted into second, and Carlos Sainz slotted into third. Carlos Sainz challenged Max for a little bit, but he couldn't get through. And then there was a few battles, down the order. Colapinto made a couple of moves, and then Liam Lawson as well made a couple of moves. And what happened was it was what's his name Carlos Sainz ended up taking second position from Max Verstappen, and it was a Ferrari 1-2 because Charles Leclerc won the race, controlled it from the front. He won it by about 13 to 16 seconds. Oh, sorry, about 8 seconds. And then Max Verstappen was in third, but there was a battle between Max and Lando because they were on different strategies, and then Lando came up behind Max, and then I explained that in another video how Lando got 5 second penalty, but it was a controlled race by the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, and he won it confidently. And so yeah, man, Charles Leclerc won the United States Grand Prix, and then Max took 7 points out of Lando going into the next Grand Prix at the Mexican Grand Prix. So I just want to say thank you, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share.